Subscribe to the channel and put a like, we need your support to improve the contents.
Pasta asparagus and speck is a delicious first course that combines intense and perfectly balanced flavors. A quick and easy recipe ideal for a daily family lunch or for a dinner with friends. Ingredients: 320 grams of short pasta, 1 bunch asparagus, 80 grams speck cut into slices, 50 grams of grated Parmigiano Reggiano, 1 clove of garlic, extra virgin olive oil, salt, pepper. Easy execution, preparation time 20 minutes, cooking time 25 minutes, portions 4. Pasta asparagus and speck is a very easy recipe to prepare, and it is a spring first course ready in just over half an hour, which can be served both for a family lunch and for a dinner with friends. The asparagus are cooked directly in the pan without first being blanched, thus maintaining all their unmistakable flavor intact, which pairs perfectly with the intense and smoky one of the speck. The recipe also requires that part of the asparagus be creamed with Parmesan and the speck made crunchy by browning in the pan. The final mix of textures and flavors make this pasta very tasty. You can also find the same delicious combination in the recipe for risotto with asparagus and speck, while for a proposal that combines asparagus and fish, here is the penne alla carbonara with asparagus and smoked trout. And if you love creamy first courses with vegetables, also try the green pasta and penne with asparagus cream, both vegetarian recipes. Start preparing the asparagus and speck pasta by cleaning the asparagus. Find out how to do it here. Cut them into rounds of more or less the same thickness and leave the tips whole. In a non-stick pan, heat the oil with the crushed garlic clove. When it is golden, add the slices and tips and add salt and pepper. Leave them to mark slightly for a few minutes, then add a drop of water. Cover with a lid and let them simmer until soft. Once ready, separate the tips from the washers and blend the latter with the Parmesan until you obtain a smooth mixture. In the meantime, you will have put a pan with plenty of water on the heat for cooking the pasta. Meanwhile, brown the slices of speck in a non-stick pan until crispy and set aside. While the pasta is cooking, chop the speck with a knife and transfer the asparagus puree to a large pan. Drain the pasta al dente, keeping aside a little cooking water, and transfer it to the pan with the asparagus cream. Stir on the heat, medium heat, adding a drop of cooking water if necessary to ensure everything is soft. Complete with speck, asparagus tips, and freshly ground pepper. Serve the asparagus and speck pasta immediately.
Subscribe to the channel and put a like, we need your support to improve the contents.
Asparagus and prawn risotto is a refined first course, characterized by the presence of 2 ingredients much loved for their delicacy. An ideal recipe for a dinner with friends or a romantic dinner for 2. Ingredients: 320 grams of carnaroli rice, 10 to 12 asparagus, 8 prawns, 1 clove of garlic, white wine, 1.5 liters of prawn broth, extra virgin olive oil, salt, white pepper. Average execution, preparation time 20 minutes, cooking time 25 minutes, portions 4. Asparagus and prawn risotto is a recipe characterized by a very successful combination in which a classic first course of spring cuisine, asparagus risotto, meets another much-loved ingredient. The procedure for preparing the asparagus and prawn risotto is quite simple, and what makes the dish special is cooking the rice in the prawn broth, which, with its intense flavor, enhances the sweetness of the shellfish. When planning the cooking times for the asparagus and prawn risotto, also keep in mind the time needed for the broth, about an hour, if you have not already prepared it previously. For the rest, the recipe is not difficult and is an excellent idea for a dinner with friends or a special occasion, as it allows even the less experienced to prepare a great seafood risotto. To make the asparagus and prawn risotto, start by preparing the prawn broth, following our recipe. Remove the head and shell, remove the casing with a toothpick or a small knife, and keep the pulp of the shellfish that you will use for the risotto. Proceed by cleaning the asparagus, eliminate the woody end part, cut the stem into rounds, and keep the tips intact. In a rather large saucepan, brown the garlic clove with the asparagus slices, and whole tips in a little oil. Season with salt and pepper, mix delicately, and when they are tender, remove the tips, which you will keep aside for the final garnish, and remove the garlic clove. Then toast the rice in the casserole with the sliced asparagus stalks. Add white wine and proceed with cooking as usual, pouring in a little broth at a time when the previous one has been absorbed. At the end of cooking, remove from the heat and move on to creaming. Add a drizzle of oil, the asparagus tips, and the peeled prawns. At your choice, you can leave the prawns whole or cut them into pieces to divide them better. In any case, they will cook with only the residual heat of the risotto. Mix, cover, and leave to stir for a few minutes. Divide the asparagus and prawn risotto between individual plates, complete with freshly ground pepper, to taste, and serve immediately.
Subscribe to the channel and put a like. We need your support to improve the contents.
A timeless traditional recipe, the pan-fried or baked omelette, is a single dish with 1,000 variations. In this case, we offer it with asparagus and a little cheese. Also perfect in bread the next day. Ingredients: 6 eggs, 1 leek, 50 grams of grated Parmigiano Reggiano, 300 grams of thin asparagus, 150 grams of provolone cheese cut into cubes, extra virgin olive oil, fresh basil, salt, pepper. Easy execution, preparation time 15 minutes, cooking time 25 minutes, portions 4. The omelette is fantasy in the kitchen. It can be made in 1,000 ways and with infinite combinations of flavors. The asparagus omelette is a tribute to an extraordinary crunchy and healthy seasonal vegetable. If you are not familiar with the most critical phase of preparing the omelette, i.e. the moment in which it must be turned, you can use the same recipe and make the omelette in the oven, or try the puffed version. Whisk the egg whites separately and add them to the mixture to obtain an omelette, always cooked in the oven, soft and puffy. To cook the asparagus omelette, cut the leek into slices and fry it in a non-stick pan together with a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. When it is transparent, add the asparagus cut into pieces, add salt and cook until tender but still crunchy. In the meantime, in a bowl, beat the eggs with a whisk with a spoonful of oil, salt, and enough pepper to break them. Add the grated Parmigiano Reggiano, the chopped basil, and mix. Using a spatula, spread the vegetables on the bottom of the pan in an even layer and, off the heat, add the egg mixture followed by the cheese cubes. Cook for 2 to 3 minutes on high heat, then lower the heat, cover, and cook for about 10 minutes or until the edges of the omelette become golden brown. At this point, using the lid, turn the omelette and let it brown for a few minutes on this side too. Transfer the asparagus omelette to a serving plate and cut it into slices and serve.